Hi everyone, hope you're all good. Last week for me has not been too bad. I've seen there's 5 of us on at the moment, so numbers are getting up. Cheers, Matt. Thanks for your comments. I saw your video earlier on YouTube, by the way. Saw it a few hours ago, mate, doing all them gutters. I love gutter days. Uh, they're good, aren't they? Sort of break up the window cleaning as well as they're good earners. So that's what we want to hear. Yeah, we just got Matt so far and myself in the chat room. If any of you are new coming in, you can leave comments in the chat room on the live. You'll see it all. And if you've got any questions, throw them up there and we'll go through them as we go. And tomorrow, Monday, start of a new week, isn't it? And I was just checking on Squeegee, me schedule. We've got 17 cleans in to do. So, yeah, not a bad day's work for me anyway, for the money neither. And hopefully we'll get through that. It sort of leads me on to what I'm going to do actually for today, really, because I'm hoping it'll be quicker tomorrow with what I've been doing this week. I've been playing around with what's going on here. I've been playing around with stuff. Right, here we go. Just bear with me, sorry. Didn't prep all this, did I? There we go. Lock that. Yeah, so it brings me on to what we're going to talk about is basically what I've been doing to improve my window cleaning techniques in order to save time. And it's all come from you guys, basically. So with your help, I've been trying all these different, well, one mainly method, and trying to break my way of doing things where I've been over cleaning and it's costing me too much time. So yeah, and it has worked. Last week we've been going through and finishing earlier than I normally do, and sort of felt like I was getting somewhere. Not stupidly early, but I was getting home before 5 o'clock, so about 4:30. So that's good. And obviously, it's preparing you for when the winter months come and you're short on time, and that kind of goes against you, doesn't it? The shorter days. So what I'll talk about basically is your window cleaning technique with the water-fed pole, and obviously we've got different cleans. So you've got your builder's clean, which is going to be a different technique altogether. First cleans, that's a different window cleaning technique altogether. But what I'm going to cover is just your bog standard maintenance cleans. Because my round's quite full, I'm fortunate that I'm mainly doing maintenance cleans, which hopefully is the same for everyone else. But when you first start, you are going to come across some of these first cleans, and yeah, you're going to use something different to what I'm talking about. And if them builders cleans come up, maybe stay away from them. But now I've done a couple of them myself, but thankfully not full on that bad. But yeah, this is basically with maintenance cleans what I was going to go through. So I just tick off some stuff. And something else that will improve your window cleaning time during the day is having a routine of how you set up and how you pack up. And obviously, the more times you repeat this, it'll just happen naturally anyway, without you thinking. But it's good to look at things every now and then and just find out and fine tune things that are going to speed you up. I know some people like to, they've got, say, a fixed reel in the back of the van so they don't take it out of the van, or they'll have a fixed electric reel and it'll still be connected up to the pole. So you can basically just grab your pole and start walking out straight away. But with me, because I like using the underfloor roller guides so I can work with my van doors shut and possibly locked in some of the areas I go to, I like to have it going down through the floor. So I don't have it all connected to my pole. So we've got to feed it off the hose, down through the underfloor guides, and then connect it to my pole. And then I shut the door and I'm off. And the other thing I like about that, for me, I know it takes a bit longer than if you had everything in the van good to go. You're going to be well quick. The reason why I like it like that is I've got elderly people, and then obviously near schools, you've got young parents. And the last thing I want is a trip hazard. So by having it through the underfloor roller guides, it's very low down to the ground. So the trip hazard's quite less. That's another reason why I like them. But it is mainly just so I can work with the door closed. So for me, setting up and packing away is obviously going to take longer than someone who's got it all good to go in the van, and that'll make you well fast. But it's all trial and error, isn't it, to find out what works for you. So yeah, how you set up, how you pack up, and also you've probably seen on my videos. There's myself, Matthew, and Sophie, my son and daughter, work with me. We've got a 45-litre trolley in the back of the van with some barrels of water to make that one go. So we also have to include getting that out of the van and putting that back in the van as well. So we have a routine of getting out the van and the way things are done in order to save us time, plus with packing away. And then obviously your flow rate, which we talked about in last week's live, which is why I thought I'd talk about this one now, because it probably naturally goes together, is having the right flow rate setting. So you've got enough water coming down the windows to help you clean a bit faster, as opposed to having a really slow flow rate. And then you've also got your type of brush comes into play here as well, because if you're doing leaded windows, you're going to need the right brush, which will be your flocked brushes. Because if you have like a DuPont brush on a leaded window, the brush is going to bounce off the glass a lot, basically. So you're going to have to keep going backwards and forwards to make up for that, and that's going to cost you time. Whereas if you've got the flocked brush, it's not going to bounce off the lead, off the glass so much, and therefore you're going to be a bit quicker at cleaning the windows. So that's what I mean by the right type of brush. And then also some of you like the 35cm brushes. I know Matt from Your Cleaner Windows does, and Squeaky Clean Dave, and there's a few others, because that's even less passes on the window because your brush is bigger, so it's covering more area. So even the size of the brush, I suppose, comes into play as well. And then basically, I suppose, even its water-fed pole, we've kind of like still used the same way traditional methods have come across. So for example, a lot of people either pre or post detail your windows frames. So if you're going to pre-clean, you can do exactly the same with the water-fed pole, isn't it? You're going to concentrate on the frames first. Once you've got the frame, once you've got the frame clean, you're then going to concentrate on the glass. So again, that comes from the trad days, I suppose, where people would work frames first, then the glass, and then everyone does the seals last. So that's kind of an order most people tend to do it, and that's what I go for. But on maintenance cleans, it's not obviously going to be a massive scrub. It's just to get rid of all the light dirt that's on there, and you're going to remove it. So it shouldn't take you too long. And then once you've done the frames, I go up to the top of the glass and I go left to right a couple of passes. So I'm getting into that rubber seal, if there's one there. And then from the top left, I just go up and down with my brush in like small V's. So the brushes are overlapping each other, but not too close because you're going to do more passes. So I've made the V's a bit bigger. And I just go from the left-hand side of the window up and down using the V-shaped motion till I get all the way across to the right-hand side. So that's going left to right in the V motions. And then I just go up to the top right of the window again. And then basically I use my brush going right to left and then back left to right. So I'm kind of going side to side, like when you're fanning with a squeegee, basically, but with my water-fed pole brush. And it's kind of like a fast pre-winch. So I'm trying to get rid of as much loose dirt off the glass as I can as well. So therefore, when I rinse, my rinse can afford to be faster. And also I've got a good flow rate, so I can rinse a bit faster as well. And then once I've done that, obviously I'm going to do the bottom bit of the window sill, give that a good scrub, and then a rinse. And that's me done. Whereas before I was doing that, but I was just over cleaning. I was like basically doing twice the amount and double checking. And that's mainly because near me, when I'm a bit rural, especially in the summertime, you do find you get a lot of bird marks where they've flown straight into the window, especially big fat pigeons around here. They take up half the more than half the window. So when it's wet, you can't really see that shape. So sometimes I give that a bit of extra scrub as well, just to make sure it will dry and that won't be there, the imprint of the pigeon. And also get bugs or pollen. But so, to be honest, your good old fingernail gets the pollen off, but it's a bit hard when it's on the first floor and above windows, isn't it? So yeah, and I was over cleaning. Everyone's been caning me for it, and rightly so. So last week, like I said, I've made a conscious effort on a maintenance clean to do what I've just covered. And it has obviously pretty much half the time it takes me to clean a window. occasionally, obviously, there's some windows that need a bit more scrubbing than others because they're full of cobwebs on the frames. We're trying to hook out a dodgy cobweb in the corner of a window on the corner of the frame, sort of thing. So you just use your eyes, but once it's clean, just trust it, it's clean. And yeah, that spread me up basically massively. Oh, sorry, I just got a comment come in. If I can get to the right page. Cheers, Gary. And who told me that was Gary's himself as a big tip. And it's something I've had to really check myself from doing to do it. And also, if you've got little opener windows or small openers, saying do them first on all the windows, for example, on the top, if you're doing the front of the house. So it gives it time, I suppose, for the stuff to run and drip down as well, and then continue with the rest of the windows. And yeah, it's definitely sped me up and I'm happy with it. It's just trying to keep it that way instead of going back to my old method. And so far, I've had gone all week, no complaints, nothing's come back. So that's proof, isn't it? So it's getting my confidence up. I've just got to check myself from going backwards to my old ways. And another reason is, I suppose, when I was over cleaning, because I was trying to get in all the nooks and crannies and make sure the rubber seals were getting a good flush out. Well, really, I'm just putting more water in there and there's more chance it's going to find stuff. And especially you find the bottom frame of the window, because all the rain, isn't it, is washing stuff down. There's a lot of stuff collects in there, a lot of grit, and you're forever having to try and rush that out. But the rest of it seems to be fine. And you'll know from house to house, window to window, what ones you'll probably have to pay a little bit more attention on and what ones that method works completely fine. And so far, it's good. And there's nothing you can do about the spider poo on the frame. So you scrub so hard, and if it doesn't come off, that ain't going to come off, is it? So stop trying to be a perfectionist, really. And that's it, yeah. And I suppose with hot water, that would be even quicker because it'll cut through all that a lot quicker. I'm just cold water, and I'd love to have a hot water system. Cheers, Matt. Yeah, starting to get even quicker, hopefully soon. Like you're saying, once I've got what I'm doing to more of a finer routine as well, that should speed me up. My son Matthew's been doing it. Sophie has as well, although I'm definitely over clean compared to them. And I've noticed I'm starting to meet them around the houses at points where I've reached further than I normally would. So even though we're all trying to speed up, I'm really speeding up because I was just really badly over cleaning. Yes, and the expansion joints. So that's like the gap between your bottom part of the window frame and the window sill. You normally get a little gap in there, and loads of spiders love hanging in there. I'll give them a good flush out, but I don't go too over the top now. It's only if I can see stuff in there. Definitely I'll go for it and use my flicker brush. But yeah, getting all the nooks and crannies, but without overdoing it. That's what I'm trying to force myself into doing, and it's definitely sped me up. And I haven't had any complaints last week. So this week is going to be much the same. And I'm guessing, excuse me, I'm guessing after about a month of that, it will solidly become a routine in itself. And I'll perhaps get even not stupid fast, but just faster and quicker at it. More competent is probably the word I should have gone for. And I may have the odd window on the odd house that requires my old method because it's just requires more work, maybe. Like I said, it's a completely different technique when you're doing your first cleans and your builder's cleans. But because I'm mainly full up, it's mainly maintenance clean. So that's definitely going to save me a hell of a lot of time through the day and through the week. Get me home earlier, make my wife happier. She's not waiting for me what time I come in order to get tea, and the kids want to know when's dad coming home. Not because they want to see me, because they want to eat their food. But yeah, it's definitely been a big help. So thank you for everyone who's constantly hounded me for over cleaning. And then thanks for Gary as well for giving me a big tip. And then I'm just putting it on here as well. I suppose everyone does it anyway. It's just me that over cleans. And I'm sure there's a few more out there that do it as well. Because you do often see other window cleaners, me and my family have, and the kids, and we think, wow, he's quick. But we do look at each other's setup, don't you? Like out the corner of your eyes, it's not obvious because you're seeing some people have a gardener's brush with fan jets, hell of a lot of water coming out. You know what I mean? You sort of like to see each other. At the end of the day, as long as the window's clean, the customer's happy, job done, isn't it? And you want to try and do it as quick as possible to get through your day. Could even get you an extra clean in a day, couldn't it? And that's 20 extra cleans a month. So it's quite a bit. Hi, Mark. You all right? Thanks for tuning in, mate. So it's interesting. I just wondered if anyone else out there does a different technique, because I suppose you get a load of window cleaners together. They're all going to do stuff slightly different. We're all going to get the same result, just different ways of doing it. And then, like we said, with other ways of setting up, apart from just using your technique with the brush on the glass, is how you set up, how you pack up. The order you clean the house, like some people like start at the back, clean the back and work their way around to the front, and some people do it the other way. I know when I first started, I always used to make sure I got the front done as in the front door, because my theory was most of the water's run down it. So by the time I'd done the sides around the back and packed away, when I opened the door, it's not going to keep dropping down in the hallway. But obviously I work with my son and daughter, so we split up the house into the sides and the front and back, and it all runs concurrent. But there's loads of other little things out there, I suppose you can always assess, keep your finger on the pulse, and try and work out what can we do better to make things quicker. And if you've got ladders, I still use ladders, because sometimes you've got to get off the ladder to hit a window with your water-fed pole, for example. Is getting your ladder off and on your van. Something that helped me speed up, and early I noticed it, was the clamps, them Rhino clamps. They are, especially when you start out, because money's tight, expensive, but they're brilliant. Very quick and easy to use. And you know how to get the ladder on and off the best way as well. The more you handle it as well, the more confident you are. And you know where you can put it in place quicker instead of keep working things out. Always think safety, obviously. It's all these little things, isn't it, which are going to help you with the time it takes to clean windows. It's definitely working for me last week anyway. So thank you again. But yeah, as anyone wants to put anything in the chat, I'm just interested in how you do it. So it'll probably be a quick live today, because that's all I wanted really to cover. And I know I've got my flow rate now up to 50 psi, so it's 2 litres per minute of water coming out of my brush. And that's definitely helped me as well. And it kind of forces you to move faster, because you're aware if I was to clean the windows where I was over cleaning with my flow rate set at that, I'd be running out of water a lot faster. So it kind of like makes you feel you've got to move faster as well. So it's great. Keeps you on your feet, doesn't it? And listening to podcasts helps as well. Okay, sorry, Matt's just come up with something. He's saying I go around the frame, rinse the top section first, then I go around the edge of the glass, and then up the middle, followed by a rinse and on to the next bit of glass. Yeah, I was watching you on your video you put out today where you did some of the window cleaning when you're doing the gutter day, and I noticed you was doing that. And I think as well, it's sometimes worth, when you do your pass along the top of the window, is take your brush off, give it a quick rinse. So it gives the chance of anything on the top part of the frame to run down. And then obviously when you're cleaning the next, you're not getting the rundowns from up there, I suppose. Yeah, and I notice you're always quick as well, Matt. And you're also saying sometimes by the time I've done the edge, I've already covered the middle. Yeah, and especially with the bigger brush, that's it, because you've got 35 centimetre brush. That's a good point. So whilst you're, say, on the left-hand side cleaning the frame, a lot of your brush is also cleaning the window. And that's something I've kind of done, rather than, sometimes I clean the frames, but I'm noticing my brush is slightly overlapping onto the window as well. And I'm trying to take that in my head, so when I then move onto the glass to go up and down, I kind of take that on board as well, and hopefully that reduces the passes on the glass as well. But you still got to, even though I found when you're trying to work faster, got to use your eyes, haven't you, to watch the glass, because if something's not clean, you're going to leave it there. So you still got to scan around. And the good thing is when you've got a good flow of water coming down the glass, it's easier to see any marks on the glass as opposed to when it's all like beaded on the windows. So while it's curtaining down, I use my eyes to scan across the window as well. And if you've got any grit or anything marks that are actually on the glass, it's like when you see a little rock, isn't it, sticking out of a river, and you see the wake of it in the river. You'll see that on the water running down the glass as well. So you kind of learn anyway, don't you, what highlights something's there or not, and it catches your eye. It's getting that into your process as well, so it all happens automatically. It's all part of it, really, isn't it? It's obviously a pain when there's something there that needs a good scrub. That's going to slow you down, and I certainly puts the panic on a bit because you're aware of the flow rate of the water. But you could always turn the water off, couldn't you, to give a good scrub with your brush? And if that doesn't work, then you got your other methods. So for first floor windows, I've got that IPC pad that the traditional window cleaners like to use, or Steve-O the window cleaner, and I can stick that on the trad pole, and I just use that to get the height. And I've got that, or DA components. What's it called? Walnut pad holder. I've got that as well, and I've even got scraper for stubbing like bird poo. Where I can put that on the trad pole and then obviously use that on the glass while it's wet. But with bird poo, good thing there is pre-wet it first, especially in this weather where it's sunny and it's been baked on. You'll see it on the gardener's websites. He's got a video there where he talks about bird poo. So you can kind of pre-wet it, and then when you're cleaning everywhere else, hopefully by the time you come to it and in your cleaning, it makes it that much easier to remove off. But something really stubborn, your backup bit will be your scrapers or your walnut pad holders, and I put them on the trad pole because it'll reach up to first floor for me. That comes in handy. Okay, Matt's just saying, have you ever thought about hot water? I'm thinking about it sometime in the future. Can't afford it at the moment. Yes, mate. When I was speaking to Gary, because he was asked me about hot water, and I said I'd love one of them, and he was just telling me how good his hot water system is that they use. And obviously, anyone else I've seen on YouTube who's got a hot water system, absolutely swear by them. And then what you often find is it's not just a use for the winter. They tend to use it all year round because it makes such a difference cleaning the windows. And I've also heard from other people who have used hot water that it also makes your windows stay cleaner for even longer than when you're using cold water with the water-fed pole method. So your customers gain in that way as well. And that would definitely be something to tell your customers about, wouldn't it, when you get it? Okay, Gary's just saying heated systems cut through 90% of these issues, Rob. Right, with you. Cheers, Gary. So there we go. With the hot water, you won't have to pre-wet, pre-soak, for example, the bird poo. You'll just clean as normal, and it's going to just help cut it through. Because like someone else has explained before, when you're doing your washing up at home, the dishes, you don't use cold water and soap, you use hot water, and because it helps. So think of it that way. It does the same thing. Got another comment in there. I've got an immersion heater in the tank in the van. It's great. Yeah, I've seen Squeaky Clean Dave use an immersion heater, and I can't remember what size element he used. I know you get a bigger one basically, so it works more cost effective, but I know a lot of people use them, don't they? And they insulate the van as well, so it lasts all day. And it's a quick way, an efficient way of warming up the tank for them. But I would love a water heating system in my van where it runs off the diesel in your tank, mainly as well because it's got that, is it the blowback feature? So when you can set the settings, so when it drops to a certain temperature, it kicks in and sort of fans round a blast of warm air, as well as heating up the van. So that way it protects all your pipes, your pumps, and if you've got an RO membrane in your van, you want to protect that from getting ice and breaking basically. And the good thing about that is I don't then have to run around like I'm doing at the moment when it is really cold in the winter. You probably seen my video where I stick in an oil rad heater and then I'm running it off an extension lead into my van. It saves you having to pack that up in the night and then pack it away again in the morning. It just looks after itself with a hot water system. That's the other reason as well why I want it, apart from its good cleaning powers. Oh, cheers. Thank you. Yeah, 2 kilowatt immersion heater. So yeah, make sure it's the right size. Squeaky Clean Dave's got a good video on that and how to fit it. But I just know with me, if I did that, I'd probably do something wrong and end up having to buy a new tank. But yeah, I know a lot of people use them as well, don't they? It's all great. So hot water is definitely what I would love in my setup. And like you say, everyone's telling me it'll speed you up even more as well. And your customer's going to be happy because they're getting a window that will stay cleaner for longer, which would be really helpful because Saturday my son used my van at the house to clean our windows. And then the next day or later in the afternoon, it was actually the same day, but in the afternoon, big combine harvester in the field opposite our house pitched up. And Matthew's like, bloody hell, I've just cleaned the windows. What's the point in that? So I was laughing, going, now you know our customers feel when they telling us the same thing happened. But luckily, it didn't mess up the windows, even though some of it was coming our way. I'm guessing if you cleaned the window another method, there might have been a bit of soap, shall we say, on the glass, and it may have stuck a bit. I don't know. But with the water-fed pole, it was fine. And even if it wasn't, you'd hope between now and the next time I clean my windows, with the rain, if you get it overnight, it's going to wash it off anyway, isn't it? Sorry. Gary's saying, okay, yeah, the auto thermostat to prevent system damage. So that kicks in, and I believe as well it blows. It's got a blower, so it helps circulate the warm air around your van. And you can choose the setting at what temperature you want that to kick in, and it does it for, is it 15, 30 seconds, something like that. But it works, and it all happens automatically, like I said, and you don't have to go running around messing about with me heaters, getting them out of the garage and the extension leads and putting all that away. It's just extra time on your working day, in it. So I'd love a water heater system. Shop around, isn't it? Because the prices can vary quite a lot. So do your own work. It's a lot of money at the end of the day, but it is definitely an investment that is well worth it. The other thing, I suppose, as I've gone off topic here, but it's kind of good, with the hot water system, it's also my belief you won't need chemicals for those that use it, for example, on conservatory roofs, or you're doing fascia soffits and gutters. The hot water just do the same thing as using a chemical. So it's going to save you spending money on chemicals, really. And that will speed up your process of applying a chemical. Sometimes pre-wetting the area, then apply the chemical because it's a hot day. And you'll have to do that process maybe panel by panel because it's that hot and you don't want the chemical to dry out. With the hot water, just all that's out the window, isn't it? You just clean like normal. So it's going to save you even more time. So I thought there's another comment come up there. So yeah, definitely a must for me. And I'm glad I've decided to really do something about cutting down the amount of passes I'm doing on the glass and the way I was cleaning the windows. Just being over thorough, too thorough. And I'm even using this technique when I'm cleaning the conservatories. And when I mean conservatories, not just the glass, but even the white decorative panels. I'm trying to do the same method on them as well. And it's definitely making me a lot quicker. Obviously, you got little nooks and crannies which take a little bit of your time, but the whole process is just now spread up. So it's good for me. I'm enjoying that, and it's probably saved me water as well. Only a small amount, obviously, because I've upped the flow anyway. Kind of counterproduct it, but it's saving me time. It's big. So hopefully I'll have a good week this week. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 86 jobs in for next week. Just all window cleaning, and obviously that's me daughter and my son working with me as well. So I just got another comment coming in. I still use chemicals. Oh, okay, with hot water for conservatory roofs, etc. A little bit of chemical will still speed up the whole procedure, plus leave a nice shine at the end. Always look good, don't they, at the end, especially while it's still a bit wet. And if the customer's going to come out and have a look straight away, they're going to be well impressed. So that's interesting. And if you've got the chemicals anyway, they're in your van, aren't they? Like you say, if you do that plus hot water, and it speeds up even faster than just hot water on its own, it's even going to increase your productivity a lot faster, isn't it? Get these jobs done, get home, decent time. And your kids are happy because they're hungry, they want their food. It's not that they miss you. When's daddy coming home? Yeah. So I suppose I need to start saving money so I can invest in a hot water system. I've been wanting a hot water system for years. It's just never managed to have enough saved up. But it's like when I got the electric reels, they're a game changer for me. They're massively sped me and my son up. It's saving all that reeling in, isn't it? 100 meters of hose across a bit of grass. It can be hard work reeling that in. And then you're lifting it in and out the van as well. And what you find is you often aren't standing in the right way you are because you pushed for time, and then you're just going to put more pressure on your back that way, aren't you? Sorry, just seen a comment coming in. Gary's just asking everyone, what chemicals are you all using? So, like on your conservatory roofs. For me, Jesus, brain fart. I'm not sure I'll be able to find it because I don't think that where I used to get it from don't stock it anymore. In fact, I haven't seen his business exist anymore. But I've used Virasol. I've used that. That's a TFR. It's got a citrus smell to it. That's good. And then I've also used that Ubic 2000 as well. I think that's quite safe to use. I'm pretty sure that's why it's popular. But I use this other stuff and I can't remember what it's called. Sorry, I'll have to let you know. But it doesn't sell it anymore and the guy's not in business anymore. But I liked it because it's concentrated. It wasn't caustic, it was non-caustic. So the small bottle made loads. And how I use the chemical is I make a trigger bottle up and I just squirt it. I can hit the fascia soffits and gutters on a house, first floor, from the ground with my trigger bottle on a jet. So I can spray it straight up. Obviously, if it's windy, that doesn't work. And then just start brushing it in. And I just do a couple of sections of gutter as I went. But I don't tend to use it. I just use the water and let the water soak in and then it comes off. I find that's quicker than messing around with backpacks or trigger bottles. But the trigger bottle works a treat on the conservatory roof. But again, I don't really use chemicals. They're just there if something's really stubborn and I can see time's getting away, then I'll use my chemical. It's a TFR. So some people are just responding to the comments. Matt's just saying he uses a TFR from Gutter Vac Systems, GVS. I haven't seen that. I'm sure I have when I've had a little look round. Mark's saying as well, he's got a 2-day week this week. Nice one, because you're going on holiday driving to France. Have a safe trip, mate, and have a nice holiday. You've earned it, basically, haven't you? Someone's just answering Gary, liquid pack heavy duty greaser or UPVC cleaner. Either that or Synergy Clean Pro from Pure Seal, but that's more expensive. Yeah, but I've got a mate who does pressure washing mainly. He does a little bit of window cleaning because I give him some spare stuff to sort of like use. I just laying around, so he might as well help a mate out, isn't it? And he said the Synergy is really good stuff from fascia soffits and gutters, but he obviously uses it for his pressure washing as well. I'll see if I can while I'll have a look. I don't think I'm going to see it. I wonder if I got it in window cleaning warehouse. No, they haven't got what I'm looking for. All I got in window cleaner warehouse. I don't know if anyone uses this V-Tough heavy duty TFR 5 litres, and it's £30.24p. Oh God, who's the stuff? Vision. I think that's where I got my stuff from. It's going back a couple of years. It just shows how little I've used it. Right, it's not what I'm looking for, but hopefully it'll jog a few people's memories if I get the right screen. Vision, who made this as a pure water additive, they also made a TFR and it's pink in colour and it was in a 500 ml bottle, but it made like lots of 25-litre barrels of pre-mixed TFR you could out of it. But obviously I was just using a trigger bottle. That was the company. They've obviously got this on Window Cleaning Warehouse, but they haven't got the stuff I used to get. Whether that's not allowed to be used anymore, that's probably why you can't find it. Who knows? I can't for the life of me get a picture of it. Has anyone else out there in the chat got the stuff or knows what I'm on about? Let's see if I just put, because it might be an old post about it knocking about. Ah, Jigsaw. Here we go. Right. This is not the stuff I normally got it from, but this guy has got it stocked. So window cleaning stuff, Vision, TFR, and concentrated CC. So can I blow the picture up for you? That's the stuff. It's kind of reddish, sorry, not pink, liquid inside it. And it makes loads. And if you can see here, it's just basically saying Jigsaw Vision TFR CC is a heavy duty liquid for professional window cleaners, ideal for cleaning UPVC, highly concentrated and economical to use. And you've got non-caustic, caustic version, non-caustic 25 mils, okay, per 5 litres of water is the mixing strength for use for this Vision TFR, basically. So you can see it makes absolutely loads. Yeah, so I'm thinking if that one's caustic. I know they do a caustic and a non-caustic. I've got the non-caustic version. And they're saying if you've got the caustic, it's 50 mils per 5 litres of water. So the non-caustic, as well as being safer to use, it also goes the furthest as well. And then it tells you as well, if you're using a backpack, it's 75 to 100 litres to 18-litre backpack. I'm sure the CC is the caustic. I know I've got the non-caustic one anyway. But I don't think you could get your hands on it. This is probably the only place I've ever seen it now for the last couple of years. And that's £9. And it should be a 500-litre bottle, I believe. And they've got a safety data sheet as well on the website if you go and have a look at it for caustic. So all the information's there. So hopefully that's kind of helped anyway. Like I said, I've just got some old stuff. It's definitely non-caustic, I know that. So I just go to some other comments in here as well. Matt's just saying the GVS gutter vacuum systems TFR's £30 for 20 litres. Okay, non-caustic as well. So you're getting a lot for your money there, aren't you, by the sounds of it? Yeah, CC caustic. I think that is caustic. See if I can find out gutter vacuum systems one. Just bear with me. Okay, this is the gutter vacuum systems website. You got gutter wash, caustic TFR 20 litres. And I think this one Matt's on about gutter wash non-caustic TFR 20 litres. £30 and £25 without VAT. And it's saying it can be diluted to 1 part TFR to 20 parts water. So it sounds like that's going to water down a lot as well. and then 1 part to 5 parts water for heavy use, basically heavy soiling. Okay, cheers, Matt. Yeah, just let me know it's under the soft washing one, and that's it. Cool. Yeah, so that's stuff Matt's on about. Non-caustic. That's mainly the stuff you want to use, really, especially in the hot weather, and you don't want to stain any like lead flashing or UPVC, because then you're going to have to buy another chemical to reverse it, or a hell of a lot of elbow grease. Chances are it's going to be a lot of elbow grease, even if you've got the right chemical to reverse it as well. Yeah, and Gary's just saying how it says don't let it dry out. I'm not sure what stuff. That was the stuff I was using from Vision, maybe. I think with any TFR, everyone's just said don't let it dry out, especially on them really hot days. So you just have to make sure it's wet and don't let it dry out when you're letting it dwell. So it's going to have a shorter dwell time as well. Otherwise, what'll happen is you'll stain the UPVC. I'm not sure if it stains lead flashing. I know Hypo does, doesn't it? And they all say test on the small area as well. But this stuff from Gutter Vac Systems also saying due to corrosion inhibitors used, this product is safe to use on industrial cladding. So yeah, that's definitely going to be the one to use. Perhaps that's why I can't buy that Vision anymore, because it's just been taken away because there's a lot of things wrong with it, perhaps. Except for that website I did find it on. That's a good point there, Mark. Mark's is saying he uses Fairy Up liquid in a backpack, and I've heard other window cleaners just put a bit of Fairy liquid on a brush, a bit of water, and off you go. It's a degreaser in it. And I suppose the hot water even better, just be like washing your dishes. And it's ready, available, easy to get. Don't have to wait for it to come through the post here. You just go to most shops to get Fairy liquid. And if it works, it works. I know I've looked on Amazon when I first started for TFR and getting ones on cars and cheap, but I was just trying to follow what was in the window cleaning forums. That's how I found Vision. And that's where I was advised as well on them not to use caustic. Caustic's more powerful, but you've got more risk of things going wrong, especially if it dries out compared to non-caustic. Non-caustic's definitely safer. But for me, I like I said, I just use the water. My son and me using the main tank. We're not messing around with different poles, brushes, or whatever, getting the chemical up onto, say, a fascia softened gutter. We just pre-wet an area, and then I move to the next section, do exactly the same thing, and then I go back to where I started. While I'm scrubbing the hell out of that one, the other section still got that time for the water to soak in. So by the time I come to clean that, that will come off easy. But before I start scrubbing that particular section, I pre-wet the next one. So I just go from bracket to bracket on a gutter. That's how I work, and just go for it. And I find the whole process is a lot quicker than applying chemicals, let it dwell, and then clean again. I just find it's a lot easier. I know I'm using my pure water as opposed to saying using the customer's tap water to try and save me pure, but it doesn't work with 3 of us working out of a van. So me and my son just go for it. At the end of the day, I'm working locally and I can go home to fill up. But we tend to use the fascia softeners and gutters anyway on a day where we specifically put to one side for gutter clears and cleaning fascia softeners and gutters, so it doesn't mess up a window cleaning day. I like the window cleaning day to get done. I don't want any work to be left over and then I'm having to catch up. That's kind of like how we do it. Sorry, it's gone a bit quiet in the chat, so I don't know what else to say, really. So it's gone off topic a bit from what I was going to do, but it's good to know about TFR. Like I say, I tend to don't use it anymore. It's just there in the van if I need it for something, or a spot where it's really bad. You know, like in the finials, if you've got some stubborn stuff there where your brushes can't dig in, gives it a bit of a kick, really. Or the good old fairy liquid, I've got that in me there with me limited trad kit that I've got in the van anyway. Plus, you can wash your hands before you eat sandwiches, can't you? Right, unless anyone's got any other questions on there, I'm probably happy to call it a night, really. And oh, sorry, Gary's just come in with a comment. How are you pricing your fascia cleans? That'll be interesting. So I'll get us started. For me, I was on the pricing. I realised, and I've played around with the prices. And our pricing system for fascia soffits and gutters, basically, if it's like a bungalow, or it's what we call lower level gutters, I charge £2 per meter. And then on a house, when it's like your first floor windows above there, that height, it's it's £2 a meter for that one, and then the lower ones are £1.50p per meter. So like on your bungalows, and what you find with your bungalows is they've got more fascia soffits and gutters on them compared to a house because it covers more of a footprint on the ground, and plus you get them on all four sides sometimes on a bungalow compared to a house when you've got your gable ends. Obviously, they can happen on houses that way. So that's why we dropped the price a bit, because it turned out to be really expensive for some people. And plus, because it's lower, it's easier and quicker to clean than a house. And basically, if it goes up another level, I just put it up 50p a meter, basically. So for like the dormer windows, that'd be £2.50, for example. That's basically how I do it. I'm not sure what everyone else does. Be interesting. Matthew is saying I use TFR 50/50, spray it on dry, but I've seen it should be wet. Yeah, so you mean the surface is still dry rather than you've wet the surface and then put on your 50/50 mixture of TFR. And I think the idea is to stop it staining anything when it dries out, because on a really hot day it's going to dry out faster, so you can let it dwell, but it's got to stay wet. And I know it's definitely for caustic. I think non-caustic you can be a bit more forgiving for you, mate. Yeah, so I don't know what everyone else sort of like is prepared to say on pricing fascia soffits and gutters. And obviously, we've found as well when you're cleaning some properties, they want the fascia soffits and gutters doing, but some properties don't even have a soffit. They've just got a fascia and a gutter. So then I take a bit of money off that as well. So basically, if it was £1.50 a metre because it's the lowest stuff, because I work in thirds, so it's 50p for one, 50p for the other fascia soffit, and 50p for the gutter. I'll just take 50p off, for example, a metre for those bits. But you do get the funny bits, don't you, where it's under a porch and there's a lot of soffits or near enough cladding. You just kind of guesstimate that one. Okay, this one, you charge 50p per side for gutters and fascias cleaning. So is that like clearing out the gutters as well, or just because I think it's just talking about fascia soffits and gutters? Matt's saying I have a price list for fascias, but it's about £45 per side on the normal house. Then you charge extra if there's extra gutters. Yeah, it's kind of use these. Don't need to get in the right ballpark and then go off your gut feeling, really. £1.50 is incredibly low. Yeah, probably am, mate. But I live in the countryside, so some of the houses doing are quite big, and these prices soon mount up to a lot. But the time it takes us, we're kind of happy with that. But yeah, I suppose if everyone's charging more, maybe I'll have to think about charging more. But yeah, I'm £1.50 for like your bungalows and £2 a metre for houses, and then the higher it goes, another 50p per metre. That's what we've done. And obviously I charge for gable ends as well. But when I quote it, we quote fascia soffits and gutters and quote gable ends, because sometimes when people say they just want the gutters doing, they literally just want the fascia soffits and gutters, say, at the front and the back of the property, and they're not bothered about gable ends. So that's why I separate them in my quote. So if they want to save money, I take gable ends off, and most people want the whole lot done anyway. Yeah, and I charge for that as well. Oh, cheers, Gary. Thank you. Okay, just cleaning fascia soffits and gutters, £45 a side. Okay, they mount up to a lot because there's a lot to clean, and they are fiddly as well, aren't they? Because you try and get all I do, the brackets clean, and then I try and get all the gaps as well between the gutter and the fascia the best I can. Obviously, a window cleaning brush isn't going to get all in there. The lower stuff, we even go up a ladder and use a flicker brush, flick all the cobwebs out and get as much of the stuff there because it catches your eye. It catches ours anyway. And sometimes as well, at certain places when I have my brush at a different angle, I can actually jam it. It's like, so my brush is near enough vertical like this, and I can push it up underneath the gutter so it splays the brushes out more and get in them tight areas. Yeah, obviously may have to put my prices up there, being too low, but something I have to sort out, wouldn't it, for the new tax year and all that lot. Definitely get it all sorted by then. And sometimes on my jobs, I get a gutter clear and fascia soffits and gutters all at the same time. And when it's like that, one of us will be clearing the gutters out with the gutter vac while someone's washing the fascia soffits and gutters, and then the third person can be cleaning the windows. So we kind of work around like that. Or when the houses got different levels, we sort it out. We come up with a plan. A lot of it's returning work anyway. So once you've done it a couple of times, you already know next year how you're gonna get it done. Okay, goes you're saying for your most part, high level fascia work should be at least 30% more than standard window cleaning work. Right, got you. So as in what the window clean is for the whole house, the fascia softens and gutters need to be 30% more that price. Is it? So I was just in this comment, I'd hire you to come and clean it for me at that price. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? It does vary from place to place. Thankfully, I don't get over swamped with it. It just comes and goes. Incidentally, when do you normally get your gutter clears or your fascia soffits and gutters? Because I try and tell me customers get it all done springtime, so everything's ready for when summer hits here and everywhere looks nice. And then I tell people when the leaves stop falling, that's when you want me to come round and clear out the gutters. But I get more busier in the springtime with the gutter clears than I do in the autumn, even though that's what I advise. And I think a lot of it is because with Christmas coming, people kind of don't spend the money on it. And then when spring arrives and all your grass starts growing really quick, anything that's in the gutter starts growing quick and it catches their eye more. So then they call me out to come and clean it. So I tend to be busy in the spring more with my gutters than I am in the autumn. And I even get a few people that want me to clean the fascia soffits and gutters in the winter, so it's ready to look clean through the winter, basically. But I tell them it's going to go green quicker over winter than it will do in the summer. But it's their property at the end of the day. Oh, sorry. Gary's just saying about the 30% more. It means per hour turnover. Right, with you, that makes sense. Something I'll have to keep my finger on the pulse to learn that one and come up with figures in my head. Yeah, makes sense, Gary. Matt saying offer a discount after the first clean at full price if they book it yearly. Yeah, that makes sense as well because it's not going to be as bad to clean, is it? After a year compared to like if it's been there for 20 years getting dirty. And it's a good way, I suppose, of getting them to book in a yearly clean in advance as well, isn't it? Okay, Dawn's saying window cleaning is bread and butter. Yep. It's definitely where I get most of my work, but I know people ask me, I got elderly customers where the wives won't let the husband do certain things anymore, going up a ladder. They kind of ask if you can do it. Yeah, pricing is a funny topic. I try not to charge how long it takes me, but how long it takes the customer. Yes. Because obviously we can do it quicker than what the customer would with the kit we've got. And plus, you're doing it day in, day out, cleaning windows and all that lot. And if they did it, yes, it'd probably take them a whole day, wouldn't it? Or 2 days even, doing it a bit at a time, stopping for breaks and all that lot. We don't get to stop. You just crank them out, don't you? Good point. Yeah, interesting. Food for thought, eh? So I'm speeding up on the windows. Now I've got to put my prices up for the fascia soffits and gutters. Master's saying I'd love to do fascias and gutter clears instead of conservatory roofs. Yeah. Conservatory roofs can be hard work. Luckily, the conservatory roofs I'm cleaning are ones I've got a few people that I clean it once a year for them, basically. So it's not that bad to do because it's not healthily bad. And if it is green, it very quickly comes off with just me water. Because, like I said, it's done every year. But you do get some, don't you? That hard work. And I hate the ones that seem hard work, but because the conservatory roof is old, the end result doesn't look as good as the time you've put in. Don't want to say in case of my customers, but I'll say it in the military. We had a saying: "There's only so many times you can polish a turd." Gary's just saying that's it him for this evening. Take care, Gary. Cheers, mate. Thank you. And yeah, I think I'll call it a night soon as well. But if anyone's got any questions after all this, just bung them in the comments. I'll come back to you as well. And I have to rethink me fascia soffits and gutters, obviously. And if anyone would like to come in, well, I don't know what I'm pressing the wrong one. There we go. Yeah. And if you'd like to come on the show, like I say, the end of the month, the last Sunday of the month, I'll try and have someone come on like Matt did from Your Cleaner Windows. And I'm trying to get pre-prepared questions, I think. So the same as everyone, same questions everyone tends to ask, like how did you get in window cleaning? How did you start? How's your van set up? That sort of thing. And then just have a like little chit chat and everyone can ask questions. It's good that we all help each other out. Lots of people have been giving me tips. I've been getting help off people individually as well, which is good. Definitely good. And then I suppose sharing's caring, isn't it? So if someone helps me, you're gonna, or I'm gonna help someone else, aren't I? And round it goes. Share it all. Right, that's it from me, everyone. Thanks very much. Hope you all have a really good week out there cleaning the windows. Hopefully it's not going to be too hot neither, and just nice and cool so we can work away. And I'll concentrate on being more efficient rather than saying faster. Just being more efficient so I am a bit quicker overall anyway. Right, that's it from me, everyone. Cheers. Have a good week.